Hey everybody, Jason Lawrence here. We're going to talk about some more new home construction sales. Monday, February 19th. I'm starting off the day with a meeting with somebody, and I've got to get a building contract signed with them. However, from the last time I put together pricing for them up until right now, our pricing has increased. So we've had a lot of price increases just due to the market in our area. So it's always a tough conversation, you know, telling somebody that the prices have increased. They feel like once you give them a price, that should be it. Well, what I did is, fortunately, I have emails from a bunch of our different suppliers: cabinets, siding, roofing, aluminum soffit and fascia, fireplace, and there's emails from all of them saying that there's going to be a 4% increase on pricing this year, or a 6% increase. So I can at least say, hey, look, this isn't just something we're trying to jack you for. We're not trying to just get an extra $10,000. It's that the house is actually going to cost that much more to build. These are all the increases that we've gotten this year, so this should help. I'll let you know how it goes, but I'm actually on my way there right now. So I just finished up my meeting. It ended up going very well. They just wanted to know and feel comfortable that there was not going to be any more price increases once we start, and I assured them that there will not be. So we are all good to go there. I hope you don't mind what I'm doing here. I'm actually going to be sharing all of the information that I know, everything that I'm currently doing as a new construction salesperson and real estate agent, but it may not all come out in one day. And I want to put videos out at least once, twice a week. And so sometimes there's going to be a combination of 3 days. Sometimes it'll be 2 days. Sometimes I'll be able to get everything out in one day, but nevertheless, it's all the same information. It's good information. So today, in my basement, when it comes to getting work done, it doesn't matter where you are as long as you're getting things done, especially pertaining to getting back to people. When it comes to emails and phone calls, I find it best to be somewhere where I am completely secluded, nobody is around. If I'm at the model, people come into the model home, it's a model home. That's just what happens there, and I can easily get distracted or pulled away from what I'm doing. So if I need to say, okay, you know what, I got to get these emails out, I got to get back to every email in my inbox right now, and I got to get back to every phone call in my voicemail inbox right now. The only way to do that and make sure it gets done, go somewhere where you are completely secluded and just get it done. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is, you've probably heard the term, do anything for the sale, anything for the sale. And I don't want to talk about it in a cheesy used car type salesman, like, do anything for the sale, whatever you got to tell. No. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, for example, I've got a potential client who is looking at buying one of our spec homes. So we just built a home, we're putting it up for sale, and the property also happens to have a lot that we own directly behind it. So there's a lot that we own, there's the house with the property, both of the backyards connect here. Now, the potential client has dogs. They want to be able to put a fence up in the yard. Now, the problem with the spec home that we just built is that the backyard is really small. So that yard size will not work for her. However, you are able to have a fence there. Okay, well, we got 1 out of 2. Well, we've got this property behind our spec home. You can also put a fence on this one. Perfect. And if you combined these 2 yards together, you would have one huge yard. And I'm going to honestly say that this is probably something, if somebody came into that spec home and they said, you know what, this isn't going to work, the yard is too small, it takes a little bit of creative thinking to, hey, you know what, we actually have the property right behind you. What if we took and were able to, put a fence on the spec home property and extend it all the way onto the vacant lot property? Well, I can't just say that, yeah, we can do that. I need to do some checking first. So this is what I'm talking about. Anything to get the sale done. Number one, the creative thinking of, you know what? No, we're not just gonna let this fall or fail because the yard's too small. We've got a lot right behind there. Essentially, they're connected. That makes for one big yard. Now, number two, can we legally do that? Can we combine the parcels? Number three, can we run the fence onto both properties, running across the property line? I don't know. I need to call my local municipality to do that. I do that right away. I talk to planning and zoning. They tell me that there are no restrictions with doing that as long as the two properties get combined. Okay, what do I have to do to combine the two properties? I need to do either a quitclaim deed or I need to do a lot line adjustment and then have that registered with the Register of Deeds. It's actually a pretty simple process. Thought it would have been harder than that. Also, there is a utility easement that runs along the back of one of the properties. I naturally thought that you probably can't run a fence over the top of that utility easement. Well, the municipality told me otherwise. You can run it across the utility easement, but if they need to come out there and do work, they will rip it down and they do not have to replace it. So what can we do to avoid that? Well, in the area, there's probably a 15-foot wide area that's a utility easement. Instead of just running the straight solid fence over the top of that, make that a gate. If the utility company ever needs to come in to do work, no problem, boys. Unlock the gate. They've got free access there. Nothing's getting destroyed. Those are the types of things that you need to look into and make sure that you're investigating all options, because this would be a huge win-win for us. We own the lot behind the spec home. I would be able to sell our spec home and this lot. That's what's called doing anything to get the sales. If there's a question about a lot or anything that has to do with new construction or what can or can't you do, always start with your local village, town, whatever, city, whatever, call the village hall, the town hall, the city hall. Ask the general question, hey, I'm looking to find out about some fence issues. Okay, they'll pass you along to the right person. But don't stop until you get the answers that you need. Don't just give up after, maybe you make a call and they're like, well, I'm really not sure what, how you could do that. Well, you know what I would say? Well, who can tell me? Who can tell me whether they're sure or not? Is there somebody else that I can talk to? They can point you in the right direction, keep things rolling. Don't take no for an answer unless it's a definite no, but make sure to dig to the bottom and get that answer. Don't just give up. If somebody gives you something to do, keep calling and calling and calling until you get an answer. Breath after that long spiel there. The other thing that pertains to this same situation is the client. That's great that we can do everything, but the client needs to visualize how that's going to look. There's two ways to do that. I have a copy of the plat and survey for each property. I could literally print them out, kind of cut off the excess paper there, put them together so you can see the lots back to back, draw the fence on there, show them where the gate needs to go, and here, this is exactly what we can do to make this work. The other thing I can do, and you probably have this in whatever county that you're in, I'm in Racine County in the state of Wisconsin, so if you Google Racine County map book, you get this really cool map that shows up on your computer. You can find any property owner, any property. I know where this property is, so I can kind of just use the tools to zoom in there. I can get a full-on aerial view. I can zoom into that property. I can print it out so that I have both properties showing. And then I can draw the fence on there, draw the gate on there, and now they're literally, it's not just on the paper surveys. This is actually the properties. The trees are in there, the grass is there, the house is there. It's as visual as you can get, and that is going to be the biggest thing in new construction home sales. You are selling a vision. You're selling a dream. You're selling what they are envisioning. Most of the times, unless they're buying the exact model that they're coming to visit you in, things are visual, and most people can't just look at a floor plan or a plat, subdivision plat, and be able to read it like you. Most people can't do that, so you need to help them visualize. So I'm super zoomed in on the properties that I'm looking for. It's this one and this one. See how they connect there? I'm gonna zoom in even further. I put a filter. This is cool. They got the different layers here. You need to go to aerial, and then what that's gonna do. Okay, so we were talking about visualization. having a hard time saying that word today. Anyways, so what I was explaining before, this is what I printed out, and I drew the house on the empty lot there. This is the lot that is behind this house, and I drew in red the fence and where the the open yard and how the fence can kind of connect. There's gates that open over top of the utility easement in case they need to come in there and do work. You can open up the gates, they can do their work, they don't have to rip down the fence. But this is what I'm going to send to them, and I don't think it could be any clearer than this, and this is what you have to do. So they've got all the information needed, they can see how it's going to look, and then they can make the decision from there. All right, well, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with some more new home construction sales information. Please give me a thumbs up, share this with somebody in the industry. Let me know what you think. Thanks again. Take care.